All right, good evening, class. We're going to give everybody else a few seconds to get in here. How's everybody doing tonight? I show the camera around like this to show there's nobody else in here. Yeah. All right, close the door. Get this started. Got to get out of here. You know, it's my anniversary. Take the wife out. All right, class. Tonight we will be continuing our discussion on Carl Jung. If you will recall, he's the Swiss psychologist. According to the book, he was born July 26, 1875, died 1961. As a child, he had a very unhappy childhood, according to him. He didn't get a lot of attention from his parents, and that distrust from this relationship eventually led to him distrusting the world as a whole. So at a young age, he started to be very introvert. He looked inside of himself a lot. He focused a lot on himself. He focused a lot on his dreams, his visions, and his fantasies. And for the most part, this is the basis for a lot of his work as a psychologist. I find the most important, idea of his is a thing called archetypes. But before we go on to archetypes, we're going to have to cover the collective unconscious. And this is where archetypes are found. All right, the collective unconscious is the supposed thoughts, ideas of our ancestors, even going all the way down to our animal ancestors. And we don't realize all these things because they are unconscious ideas. So it's not really a testable theory, but it's what he believed in, and this is where archetypes was founded. An archetype is a very, very abstract idea, so I'm going to try to give y'all somewhat of a concrete definition that'll make it easier for the class to work with as a whole. An archetype, we're going to call it a mental image that symbolizes a specific trait, or a specific trait in a person, or it can actually be the person symbolized as something. Archetypes, there's four major types of archetypes. The first one is the self. And the self is the idea that the meeting of our conscious and our unconscious. It's the part of us that we portray to the world, that the world sees. The second major archetype is the shadow. This consists of our sex and life instincts. It's somewhat like our animal drive, all of our dark thoughts, just our straight animal instincts that aren't necessarily appropriate for the outer world. And the shadow archetype, it has a lot of repressed ideas, our weaknesses, our desires, and even our shortcomings. And all of these traits and ideas are found in the shadow. Third, we have the anima and the animus. And the anima is the female part of males. So this would be like our sensitive side in males, if you males have that. And the animus is the male part of a female, like the hard-nosed part found in some females. And the last major one is the persona. And this again is the persona is the part of us that the world sees, the part of us that we show to the world. All right, let me see what we're going to talk about now. Well, I'm gonna list some other type of archetypes for the class. The father. In a dream, the father is the embodiment of an authority figure, somebody that's very stern and very powerful. The mother, nurturing, comforting, very loving, a soft place, a comfortable place for us, or a person that we're comfortable with, will be portrayed as the mother. A child, rebirth, salvation, somewhat of not a weakness, but a vulnerable state. Because as children, we are vulnerable, and we rely on others to support us. The wise old man. It's guidance, wisdom, knowledge. This could be like a grandfather or an idol, somebody that we look up to for wisdom. The hero, a champion, a defender, a protector. Examples found in the world, maybe a fireman, a superhero, Superman, the maiden, desire and purity. Maiden, when I think of maiden, I think of a pretty girl. I don't know about y'all. The trickster, deceiver, a liar, a troublemaker. So in the dream, this might be a sneaky person that you might know of, or just something sneaky. Is there any questions so far? No? Okay, I'll continue. And another type of archetype is the animal archetype. One is the faithful dog. And whenever I think of the faithful dog, a realistic or a worldly application that is found in a movie would be Lassie. The dog is somewhat of a protector of the family, very faithful to the family. The enduring horse, never giving up. Something I think of is the movie Secretariat. Maybe y'all have seen it. It's basically based on a horse. Okay. And the devious cat, very self-serving. The first thing, whenever I saw this, first thing that popped in my mind was Garfield. I know we've all seen Garfield. Well, class, for the most part, that's the main thing about archetypes. And another interesting fact about archetypes is that they're found in our world today in TV, cartoons, fairy tales, and they seem to work their way into our everyday entertainment without us even knowing it. And another interesting fact I found about Carl Jung is that as a psychologist, he once gave an advice to a patient who suffered from alcoholism, and the information that he shared with the patient led to the formation of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a very useful for people with alcohol. So I thought that was very interesting. And for the most part, class, that's all I have for today.